Thank you, everyone. Mentoring is a brain to think and ear to listen and a push in the right direction. I would like to call upon Professor Nitin Chandra to give the insights of Parichay 2024.
Good morning, one and all present here. Indeed, a privilege to be hosting Parichay 2024 to one and all. John has rightly said, education is not preparation for life, but education is life itself. Understandably so, when a student steps into the corridor of an institution, he has mixed feelings. On the one hand, there is hope, curiosity, enthusiasm, and independence. On the other hand, anxiety, apprehension of the unknown, and discomfort of facing a new environment. Parichay 2024, in a step-by-step manner, will address all these feelings of you students. To make students feel at home with a new environment and develop complete acquaintance with the policies, processes, practices, culture, and values of GBS, we will firstly introduce you to our staff, followed by the most important aspects of academic policy and placement policy. Discipline is a must for success in life. Hence, you will have a complete orientation on discipline policy at GBS. The important aspects of socializing, associating, governing, and experiencing will be realized through the mentoring session called Samvad. We'll also get to know more about your classmates through the ice breaking session. Film appreciation is understanding layered cinema by delivering deeper into the elements of an observed film and understanding the role of cinema in influencing society. Keeping this in our perspective, we have a movie review arranged for you all. Inculcating human values such as empathy, compassion, and love for the less privileged will be brought about by CSR activity wherein you will be visiting a prominent school for the blind in the city. We have also arranged for an industrial visit for you students to expose you to the elements of production. The ever exciting events of GBS will be explained to you in the session on Global Management Guild, also called as the GMG. We also have a sports activity called Khel Khel Mein and a yoga session to energize you all. Besides this, we have an entire day session on neuro-linguistic program techniques for students called as Mind Power Magic by Sri Venkat Ramani, and a special session on industry readiness by Mr. Girish Angadi. This in all is the package for Parichay 2024. Hope you all have a great learning experience through this week-long orientation program. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Without further ado, I invite Sri Jagdish Papadji to share his experience and wisdom with us.
Respected Sri Ramesh Kotari ji, Dr. Subhash ji, honorable members of the board, Professor and my dear colleague Sri Rudgi ji, respected members of the faculty, guests, and my beloved students. Today, you stand on a threshold. Today, you need to decide what you want to do in the next 2 years. 2 साल का मजा 40 साल का सजा. You got what I'm saying? Next 2 years, you can have a lot of fun and not study. And 40 years, suffer. On the other hand, you can have next 2 years saja. Work really hard. Burn the midnight world will respect you for what you have sown in these 2 years. Right? So the decision is yours, choice is yours. You carry two flags from today. One, you carry the flag of your family, the family you represent. You cannot let that flag down. The other flag you carry from today is the flag of GBS. You have to ensure that when you go out of this institute as a student of GBS, people should look up to you and respect you for what you have earned in these 2 years. Double responsibility. I love the title of the program today, Parichay. Now, if you ask me, Parichay is a journey of self-discovery. Swami Vivekananda, one of his gospel statements, he says, each soul is potentially divine. The goal of humanity is to realize this divinity. And where is this divinity? Already have. And that's where GBS can be a guiding stone. It will help you every step of the way. You have amazing faculty here, you have amazing group of people who want to guide you. But the journey you have to undertake on your own. The decision you have to take on your own whether you want to use these 2 years properly or not. Right? When you have come here with a dream. True. I remember 30 years ago, when I first went to the United States, I was the youngest guy on that Air India flight. All others were 60 and 70 plus. They had gone to see their children after saving money for that air flight. 3 years ago, I went, same Air India to United States. I was surprised. I was the oldest guy on that flight because every single Indian who was on the flight were all your age group, 25 to 30 years, with a lot of dreams in their eyes, and they were going to conquer the world. संस्कृत में कहावत है, विद्वत्वंच नृपत्वंच नैव तुल्यम कदाचन, स्वदेशे पूज्यते राजा, विद्वान सर्वत्र पूज्यते. If I translate that, it simply means there is no comparison between wealth and knowledge, wisdom. Even if you are a king in your own country. If you are a scholar, you are a scholar to the whole world. And what better proof than you, your seniors, who have gone abroad and proved to the world what India is all about. Now you are going to script the India story further. Some of the best corporations in the world are today headed by none less than Indians. 20, 30, 40 years ago, they were sitting like you with dreams in their eyes in one of the premier colleges across the country. And today, they rule the world. And I think you are no less. It is what you need to do is take a decision today. Next 2 years, make that decision come true. Money will come. Money has to come. I promise you that. Don't follow money. Let money chase you. And the only way to see that money chases you is you be the best in class. Nothing in world can actually stop you from that. Right? So that is one thing I wanted to keep you in your thoughts. The second thing is, when your parents sent you here, they have sent you with a dream. There is a Sanskrit statement which says, Varam neko guni putro nacha murkha shatanyapi ekas chandra stamohanti nacha tara ganopita. If I translate that, it simply means one moon in the midnight sky can give far more light and glory than millions of stars, just as one illustrious sun can give light to the family, give light to the society, give light to the country, compared to hundreds of people who are not accomplished. Friends, we all here want to see that you become that one illustrious star in the night sky. Prove by your own talent that you can go anywhere in the world and you'll be welcome. And if you want to be really successful, there are 6 habits you need to discover for yourself. The Parichay you will undergo in the 2 years here, I think will revolve around these 6 habits which you have to develop. The first habit is simply being the best wherever you are. If you are put in the hotel industry as a placement, can you be the best knowledgeable hotelier in the industry? If you are put in the IT industry, would you be able to learn the nitty-gritties of the IT industry within the shortest period of time? And if you can do that, believe me, there is no looking back. The second thing an MBA guy should know is that he needs to build a sense is it clockwise or anti-clockwise? I'm not going to ask you now, but think for your wonderful trait for an MBA student to have. ಇದು ಹೇಗೆ ಆಯಿತು ಹೀಗೆ ये ऐसा क्यों होता है अगर ये आप रोज सोच सकते हो believe me you will be an amazing student and later an amazing professional. The third thing I always feel is have subject knowledge. Professor Rudgi will load you with 24 subjects. And I promise you, you can't be expert in all the 24. My question is, can you be an expert in one subject? If that one subject you are a master, believe me, companies will love to grab you. In my career of 40 years, I've interviewed not less than 9,000 people because that was my job. And believe me, Karnataka students are no less in any of these, except that they don't open their mouth. ಎಲ್ಲ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ ಬಾಯಿ ತೆಗಿಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಾಚಿಕೆ. I have seen IIT students. They're very good in their subject, but they have one more quality which makes them than you all. They can talk their of communication. And when I say communication, I'm not saying that learn English like the Englishman. I'm saying master the art that you use language as your servant. You should know how to play with language. You should know how to communicate in any nobody can touch you, reach your goals you want to reach. Right? So communication is a very critical tool. Subject knowledge is a very critical tool. That is one of the habits you need to pick up now. 1, 2, 3 subjects out of the 24, become a master, and believe me, recruiters will grab you. Because I've gone and done interviews for all the IITs in this country. I've gone and done interviews for all the NITs in this country. I've gone and interviewed at least 30, 40, 50 engineering colleges. I go there to recruit people, not to reject, correct? And whereas I come back saying, okay, I couldn't get more than 4 or 5 people. You mean to say the others are not good? No. It's only that they couldn't communicate. Right? So it is up to you to build that habit of communication. I don't have to say much about leadership skills. I'm sure many of you will need to learn leadership skills, and that's where Rugi and his team will be your backbone to see that you learn leadership skills in these 2 years. They will make you take leadership roles whether you like it or not. And that's the way you learn, right? And lastly, but not least, I think attitude plays a phenomenal role in your career graph. If you have a wonderful attitude, believe me, the world can't stop you. I remember a small story when I say attitude. I was once traveling in Dharwad in a local bus. When the bus had just started off from the stop, I ran and I jumped into the bus. There was only one seat, and next to me there was a very young, smart guy sitting there. He had a lovely hat, wonderfully dressed. Hrithik Roshan would look a little pale in front of him. So you can imagine, a very handsome person, and he was sitting with a guitar between his legs. मेरे को तो अजीब सा लगा क्योंकि धारवाड़ में गिटार लेके बस में ट्रैवल करने लोग बहुत कम होते हैं. So I sat next to him and he started smiling. So I thought he's smiling because a fat man came running and jumped into the bus. So I casually asked him, ಯಾಕೋ ಯಾಕೆ ನಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂಕಲ್ ನೀವು ಓಡ್ ಬಂದು ಕೂತಿ ಚಲೋ ಅನಿಸ್ತು, ಎಷ್ಟು ಹುರುಪಿಲ್ ಬಂದು ಕೂತಿರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. I said, okay, so far so good. Then I said, ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು. What do you do? He said, sir, 1 year I'm learning guitar. I was really annoyed. This is the time you should be studying. And you have left college to learn guitar for 1 year? And that doesn't sound very right. I said, ಯಾಕಪ್ಪ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿ ಅಂತ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂಕಲ್ ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು, 1 ವರ್ಷ ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ತಗೊಂಡೇನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ದ. ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಸತ್ತಾಪುರ ಹತ್ರ ಮೋಟರ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ದೆ, ಸ್ಕಿಡ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಬಿದ್ದೆ, ಕಾಲಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಜುರಿ ಆಯ್ತು, ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಒಬ್ರು ಲೋಕಲ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಹತ್ರ ತೋರಿಸಿದೆ. ಐ ಚೆಕ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಲೋಕಲ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ and he gave me some wrong treatment. I developed gangrene and I had to cut off one leg. So believe me, he's the same age as my son. And my thought was, what if it had happened to me or my son? Right? And the first thought was, I used wonderful Dharwad galis to tell who the hell the doctor is. Star, 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 star. How the hell can he even do this to you? And then suddenly his reply made me learn what is attitude. He said, sir, why do you blame the doctor? Avren bekanta madlilla. He never did it wantingly. Maybe it was an accident and it was my bad luck. Why do you blame the doctor? And mind you, just 2 months back, his leg was amputated. Believe me, I couldn't hold back. I said, boss, अगर आपका attitude दुनिया में सबको है, this world will be a different place. Even if you have a small pin which pricks your leg, right? You're not the same student. And if you know who has done it, you'll have nice dahlias for it. And here is a guy who has lost his leg in the prime of his youth, and he has the guts and courage to say, forgive the doctor. And he knew that the doctor made the mistake. Friends, attitude is an amazing tool in the hands of MPS students or in the hands of any human being. You have a wonderful attitude, believe me, life can only be better and better. I don't know this youth. I have told this story in at least 10 platforms because to me, he is a guru. When it comes to good attitude, I don't think I've seen so many people who can have that amount of grit and say, forgive them. I know how to lead my life. Right? So, attitude, communication, one great subject knowledge, leadership skills, being wonderfully curious, and last but not the least, be a team player. Because in the corporate world, you may be God's gift to mankind. You may be the best person on earth, but you can't do anything in the corporate world unless you have a team which will work with you, which will tomorrow work for you. And therefore, having a wonderful team spirit is going to be one of the cornerstones which will change the graph of your career. Right? So before I end, I love to tell a story. I'm a storyteller, by the way. One of the stories I remember is the difference between information and wisdom. We all Google uncle ko phone. That's the power. There is a difference. I remember a story. There was an old man who was blind, going with his nephew, who was a youngster like you, who could see very well. They were walking towards the village. There was an arch in front of the village. And there were lovely creepers which had beautiful pumpkins. So they could see it from 100 meters away. So the guy was excited. He said, Uncle, lovely pumpkins on that arch. So the old man, without batting an eyelid, said, my friend, don't get too excited. They're all rotten. So the youngster was surprised. He said, you can't see, you can't smell. We are 100 meters away. I am telling you there is an arch. I am telling you there is pumpkin. How the hell can you tell me that they are rotten? So he said, why don't you go and test yourself? So the youngster ran there, plucked the best pumpkin he could take, broke it on the ground, and it was full of worms. He ran back to the old man and said, how did you know, Grandpa, that this is rotten? He said, my friend, it is simple. What you gave me was information. It's a public place, tempting pumpkins, but nobody is plucking it. The only reason could be it is not worth plucking. And a pumpkin which is not worth plucking should be rotten inside. Right? That's the difference between information and wisdom. Now, these 2 years, apart from gathering information, learn to build wisdom in your portfolio. Yeah? And last but not the least, all of you are starting the race today. But believe me, 2 years from now, some will be ahead, some will be behind. And the only reason why you'll be ahead or behind is because the difference is who has the urge to go ahead. I remember another story before I end today. I'll just take a minute, sir. The story is that there are 4 or 5 villages and there are Kaldari connecting multiple villages. There are footpaths. And there is an old man sitting in one of those crossroads. So there's a youngster like you who runs to this old man and says, sir, I want to go to Kamalgatti. How long will it take? The moment the old man listened to this boy, he gave a very nice smile, but he never replied. So the youngster couldn't wait. He said, Uncle, please tell me, I want to go urgently. No reply, only a smile. So this boy couldn't wait any longer. He ran in the direction he thought was Kamalgatti. He would have ran 100 meters. Hey, come back. You will take 8 minutes, he said. The boy was annoyed. He said, Maths correct ಹೇಳಿದ, ಅವಾಗ ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ.